Here we go, part 3 of Overwhelm. This part is about giving yourself permission to stop and rest or take a break. And it's that permission piece that's really important because we beat ourselves up so much. We have enormous expectations of ourselves to be able to do everything and get it done on time and have everything under control. You know, I'm not sure in today's world that it's possible to ever feel in control because there are so many things happening around us over which we have no control. We genuinely have no control. We can make a difference, we can do things, we can take responsibility for the things that we can control, but there is a ton of stuff that we actually can't. So there's no point worrying about that because we actually can't control it. But the stuff we can control, what we say to ourselves, the core beliefs that we have, and I rabbit on about this forever, but it's because it's so important. You know, if you're telling yourself you're not worth loving and you're not good enough, if you constantly tell yourself you're unsafe, and if you constantly tell yourself you don't belong, you don't fit in, then all of that sits in the background, undermining your confidence, undermining your energy, undermining your ability to get things done. So imagine you're speaking to a dear, dear friend or someone that you love, and that friend is you. And hopefully you do love yourself, and more of that later. And how would you speak to them? Would you be harsh like you're being with yourself? Are you saying, oh, for goodness sake, stop looking at bright, shiny things, just get your head down and do the work. Just get through it. Find all your lists, find this, find that, and just get on with it and stop complaining. You would never speak to a really good friend like that. You might point out to them that they perhaps are being distracted too easily and that they could kind of choose to focus a little more on what it is that they decided they were going to do. But you would also be compassionate. So in amongst all this overwhelm, be compassionate with yourself and recognize that, you know, you can only do what you can do. And if you prioritize things, so this one is the 2 P's, give yourself permission and start to prioritize what's really important, what's really got to be done. And you know, this is an age-old thing that time managers have taught forever, but you know what really has to be done. And the heart is the most important organ in the body. And it really, knowledge, information accumulates in the head, but wisdom grows in the heart. And it's the wisdom that allows us to see when we're getting overwhelmed and gives us the strategies to use to calm ourselves down. Because if you stop, if you give yourself permission to stop and you sink from your head, because that's what overwhelm is. It's like a and it's like somebody just stuck an electric probe into your head and it went zzz, because that's what overwhelm is. But if you stop, take a couple of breaths, and you drop down to your heart, put your hand over your heart and help yourself remember where it is. And then imagine that imagine there's a little chute, you know, a C-H-U-T-E, like a little tunnel going from the middle of your brain down to the middle of your heart. And imagine yourself as a tiny little version of yourself. And you're at the top of the chute and you slide down into your heart. And you sit in the stillness of your heart. And in that stillness, almost immediately, you start to feel calmer. You'll feel clearer. You'll be able to see things in better perspective. And once you do that, if you can for 5 minutes, that would be wonderful. And you know, 5 minutes in a day isn't much. And you'll be so much more productive and so much more effective after you've spent 5 minutes in your heart, where you're not, and you breathe, and then you go back to what it is that you were doing. And I guarantee you will do it more effectively, more efficiently, and the results will be better. So give that a try and see how you go. Bye.
Always look on the bright side of life.